Hey AfterBuzzers, you're watching New Girl episode 9. Es good, and we're starting right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey girl. We were actually saying this, and when you say Allie and Tess, it sounds great, just like Jess. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to our New Girl After Show. We are so excited to have you again this week, and we have so many fun, juicy things to talk about. Make sure if you want to, you can join us in the live chat. We'd love to discuss more. And just to introduce ourselves, I'm your host, Allie Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Allie Nasta, and on Instagram, you can find me at Allie Girl. And Tessa Cavel, where could they find you?
You guys can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cavel.
So you know what? This episode was es good. It's very good. Apparently, according to Safros, it's very good. But so many exciting things today that we got brought back to. Which,
yes, I'm so happy about so many things that happened in this episode. I think all of my predictions came true.
They did.
Wishes.
Yes, exactly. Predictions, wishes. And one of those things was Robbie and Jess. We're finally brought back to that relationship, and we start off the episode knowing that they're dating.
Yes.
But this slowly gets taken away.
I know. Well, first of all, I was really surprised of how it was so sudden at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, whoa, we're back. And they are dating.
Yeah, and that was something that was really awkward because last episode we didn't even literally hear about Robbie, and then the next thing we were supposed to know was that they were going to go on a second date, but it seemed like they did with the singing.
And then, and then it slowly fizzled out in this episode. It was very strange. It took a turn that I did not expect. Did you see that coming?
I did not at all. And, you know, when they did say, let's take it slow, I was kind of confused because it went from taking it slow to dating other people. How did you feel?
Well, and backtracking, it was like taking it slow, we're dating, taking it slow, we're not exclusive. It was a very strange path that they took.
It was very strange.
And it's Jess and Robbie.
Yeah,
so
of course, things cannot be convenient. Of course, the poor guy almost gets killed because of their first kiss. But no, yeah, it was really strange, the whole exclusive, non-exclusive. And luckily, I was glad that Winston cleared it up. Because he was like, so what is this count for? And they talk about modern dating.
Modern, cool, and relaxed.
Is that something that's real? Please, if you are in the live chat right now, like, Tessa, have you ever heard of modern, cool dating?
No, but I have been in a relationship for a while, so I don't know what it's like out there these days.
Well,
maybe I'm really out of the loop.
I'm completely single, and I've never heard of modern, cool dating, which kind of sounds like an open relationship to me. But then the way that Robbie and Jess were having it was that it wasn't even like an open relationship. It was full on like they're dating other people. Well, I guess I don't know. I get confused with open relationships.
Also, if you're in an open relationship, why would you go on a double date with that person?
Yeah.
That is the strangest thing to me.
And not only does it make it uncomfortable for you guys in general, if they're not okay with this in the first place, it makes it uncomfortable for the people that are on the date.
Yes. So weird.
So weird. And this is something that Jess, she does so smoothly, is just puts things like into a very deep hole by accident. By saying that when they were on their date, Robbie and Jess, and they kind of came to realizing that they were going to date other people, that she has a boyfriend already. And how did this the reaction, like, oh no, was it just like, oh, a Jess thing again?
I mean, Jess,
love her, gotta love her.
Well, I just felt like the whole thing was so weird to begin with. Like, I don't know.
And my thing is, when you start a relationship out like this and you kind of like let that be, oh no, it's okay, when it's really not, that totally starts things off in a wrong foot anyways, in any relationship. So I was like, Jess, no, you're digging yourself a hole, because I felt like as if, like, from the start of this conversation, I was thinking that they weren't going to dig themselves out of this deep rut that they were starting in already. Did you think that they would? Yeah.
It was very,
yeah, when you start your relationship like that, like, oh, we can date other people, it'll be fine. And it's like, okay, really?
But then let's go on a double date. It was very strange. And Babs.
Yes.
Can we talk about how amazing she was?
Let's talk about Babs.
I thought she was amazing.
What was your thoughts beforehand, like when he was talking about Babs and like kind of doing a small introduction?
Well, it sounds like her grandma name.
Yeah.
So there's that. But also, I thought she would be like, okay, so you think factory worker, you think kind of grandma name, all these things, and then she's like this hot engineer, and you're like, what? And then I'm also like, how did Robbie swing this?
Right?
Am I right?
Yes, you are completely
Robbie's
right.
not cute.
I think he's endearingly
He's
cute.
charming.
Yes, very charming. But
But he's not sexy.
then we kind of learn a little bit more about him this episode, which comes to terms is we don't really know who Robbie is.
Yeah.
So
And I'm really excited. I'm excited that the writers kind of took this opportunity to like create this elaborate life that he's had. I think it was really cool and fun and kind of like, whoa, Jess, like maybe you're missing out on this really cool guy.
yeah, I agree completely because it was funny. They were kind of making a joke at it. Like, wow, we haven't really asked Robbie about his life. We haven't inquired about it. And I think what's really entertaining in that fact is that this is kind of the first guy we have like almost no idea of what he does outside of his life besides that. We know that he dated Cece at one point, and we know that he was with Jess at the gym, and then he joined or he started that no singles group. But then
Yes.
other than that, we know surface level things. We haven't been introduced to his job or anything.
Which I think shows that he's a really good guy if he's willing to be so there for Jess when she hasn't been there for him.
That's very true. That's very true. And we did see him stick up for her, like on the Thanksgiving episode. And so it's just great that he hasn't really even needed to talk about it. So maybe that'll open up the relationship for them to kind of discuss more and discuss further. Which,
I haven't been excited to see where this goes until now.
yes, I am the same way. Because at first it was kind of like we weren't really getting anything out of it. But now this little
Whoa,
yeah.
this totally changed everything. I'm so excited to see what's going on. So
Yeah, but and then obviously we've talked about the relationship and how awkward that is to start off your relationship in a hole like that. But let's talk about this double date with Babs and Stavros. First of all, Stavros doesn't speak any English.
yeah, why? I don't understand why you would go on a date with someone, first of all, who doesn't speak the same language as you.
I was like, Jess, seriously, love you, but it was just a typical like I need to find a man. And then Winston and Cece with them being together, which we will get into that because I loved them this episode. They were just so cute and just kind of bringing to light like, yeah, wow, we actually are like the normal ones for once. Like nothing weird is happening in our relationships. But Stavros, yeah, she met him on a construction site.
I know, I'm like, try a little harder. This is the first person you tried. It's been 5 minutes, Jess.
Yeah, well, Stavros he did add a lot
cute.
of, he was cute. I like how, okay, so if you were in that situation and you like were like, sitting on a date with someone that you like were, I don't know, like someone that you liked and they were on like this, you were in this awkward like competition because that's what they were doing. And Cece called it. She was like, they're doing this to like test each other. They're testing each other. Like, how would you feel in that situation? What would you do? What would your reaction be? Would you?
I would be so awkward. I would not know what to do.
I would just kind of, I don't think I would ever even want to be in that situation rather than like, of course, Jess offering to go on the date together because she was obviously trying to like not see Robbie that weekend because they were talking about going on a date with Babs 2 nights in a row. But I was like, oh gosh, like this has got to be so awkward, especially for the other people.
So awkward. Well, maybe not as much for Stavros because
Yeah, he didn't know what was
he
happening.
didn't know what was going on. But Babs, I mean, she's smart. She clearly knew what was going on and bailed.
She
So
was like, this is weird. And it's more
So
awkward on
weird.
them than it is like, because Jess
Also-
and, what?
I was gonna say, also, why did Robbie start singing? I just felt that was awkward in general.
I'm so glad you just brought that up because it was. I was kind of like, I was bawling. I mean, like laughing
It was
so hard because it was
hysterical, but I was
hilarious.
like,
But it
what?
came out of nowhere. But I feel like that's just how they are. And that's why the more that Robbie is introduced to us and we kind of keep seeing more and more of him, I'm like, I think that if this relationship does progress, I think it could be a really charming and fun to watch just because they are so similar in certain ways. We saw a little glimpse of that at the beginning of the episode. I think they could be really happy together. So that could be, this could play out very interestingly. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's going to last? Do you think it's going to turn into something more?
As of now,
Yes.
I think I'm gonna see Robbie for like 5 or 6 more episodes. And I kind of thought he would fade out like this episode. So I'm really interested now to see where it goes. And did you catch Jess's expression on her face kind of like at the end of the double date when she was like on the couch and it was really awkward and you could see she was like, because Robbie's like, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want me? Do you like me? And she looked stunned.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I thought that was really interesting that she was so like dumbfounded almost.
I'm just kind of, I think she's so confused because obviously we haven't brought it up again in the last couple episodes, but she hasn't really talked about Nick. So I think Nick is still in the back of her mind, but she's somewhat kind of, it's like she's trying to let it go, but she can't let it go. So she doesn't know what she wants because she can't be like, well, I'm not sure if I still have feelings for Nick, so I want to revisit things. So I think she's trying to block those emotions. I think she's trying to block that from happening.
Do you think that's why Nick and Jess haven't still had a scene together? Do you think she's totally avoiding the situation and Nick is just being completely oblivious?
I think she's not so much avoiding it, but blocking the emotions. Because when we have seen like small like snippets of them together, like last episode when they're all in the kitchen together, I'm thinking she's just kind of blocking it out rather than even feeling anything when she's around him. But how do you feel about it? Like, what were your reactions?
I just was kind of honestly surprised of how like shocked she was when he said that to her, when Robbie said that to Nick or Jess, because it was like, Jess, you just decided you wanted to like do this and you were so excited that he liked you and like you guys are playing this weird game, but I think you both know you're playing a weird game.
Yeah.
And I think it was really kind of interesting to see Jess be so like surprised when he asked her that.
I think it was,
I was just a little taken back by it, to be honest.
No, and that's, I'm glad that you brought that up because it is true. And usually she always has something to say about everything. But I think it did kind of just shock her into the whole, I don't know what I want. And then we see that happen when she goes out with Stavros and she and Cece and Winston come. Finally, they can come help her. But yeah, I think that she's just trying to really figure this whole thing out. But it was kind of, were you kind of confused at how like when she was talking to Cece, even though we knew she was drunk, were you confused at how she was like, I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want Robbie. And then 5 seconds later, she's getting her falafel. And then she's like,
I like you. And I was like, what?
I was kind of like,
I feel like
it
was like such a big circle she did this episode.
No, I agree. I think she kind of went back and forth to different emotions and feelings. And that's kind of how this whole relationship with Robbie's been. It's been so up and down. And I feel like in most of her past relationship, it hasn't been so much of like, I don't know if I want to be with them. Usually she's like, I do want to be with him. And you know what? Actually, now just like talking that out, I feel like she's, like she said, she's always gone fast. She's always gone like into things so quickly and like them so fast. So maybe this is the one time she's kind of confused. But then again, she's convincing herself. She said that. She was like, I feel like I'm convincing myself into it. So.
Well, and I think for the first time, I've always been on Jess's side because I think we've always seen her side of everything more.
Yeah.
And we see her struggling with things and we see just one side of Robbie. And I think this episode showed a whole nother side of him. And I'm kind of team Robbie now. Like, I think I switched sides this episode because I'm like, he's such a good guy and he's only been so good to her. And now I look at Jess as kind of like the crazy girl.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because he's only done things to prove that he cares about her and that he wants her. So, well, at least we know that we did come to some sort of conclusion and they're going to continue this relationship. So maybe the next episode will be normal. But I don't know how normal it could get in the loft because things always get crazy. And that's why I love it so much. But speaking of crazy, maybe we should get into Mr. Jason, Nick, and Schmidt and the whole housing thing. You know, so we find out walls. All right, we got walls, people.
We got walls.
But then sadly, no, we don't. We don't have any walls. Which brought up a really interesting spin between Nick and Schmidt, which we find that Schmidt wants to be more like Nick. What did you feel about Schmidt wanting to be like Nick?
I was like taken back and I was kind of surprised Nick wasn't more taken back. I was like, what? You guys are polar opposites. Schmidt's always acting superior and all of a sudden he wants to be Nick. I thought that was so interesting. And it was also, I mean, hilarious watching him try to do it.
It's so funny because Schmidt is always the one that like is like, ugh, Nick, no, like telling him what to do. Like almost like sometimes even though he loves Nick, he's kind of disgusted by like certain things that he does. So I found it interesting that he even wanted to wear his like clothes like him.
He had his jeans on and a shirt and like everything.
I feel like this just shows how much Schmidt wants this house to be like set in stone and like good to go and everything. I was like, wow, Schmidt is making some like huge jumps into a more mature Schmidt that would actually they decide to be more like Nick, which was crazy.
But did you also notice that Cece wasn't involved in any of the house stuff?
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but I felt like they needed something for Winston to do.
True.
You know what I mean? Because if we would have had Cece there, then, and remember he did say, I'm the one that's like more gonna like do things with the house. Like I can take care of that. And because she like, and her thing was, okay, well I get the doorbell. So maybe, but
True.
I don't know. But
I think I could so see Cece coming in there and being that person that needed to be there with like her leadership and power that
when
she has.
You're right.
So I think it was just really comical that they chose to instead have Schmidt pretend to be that person.
Yeah. And then Nick like coach him on things where it's like, and Nick, he was like, you just can't even talk to them. And I was like, no, I don't think that's the case. He was like, what do you say? He was like, of course I'm not a man of the people. Like I want to like pay the people to do the stuff. But gotta love it. But this brings an interesting character to us, which is Mr. Jason. Which I was literally laughing so hard about where his character took a turn for like a total different side. I had no idea that was coming. Did you?
No. Also,
like,
I thought it was so comical the whole time that they called him Mr. Jason. I'm like, only Schmidt would do that. You are a grown man. You're like 30 years old and you're calling another man Mr. Jason.
It's so funny too because I didn't even think twice about it. That I didn't even think that he like when he said Mr. Jason, he's like, why do you keep calling you Mr.? I was like, I didn't even. I like because it's so like normal. I feel like for Schmidt to just. I didn't even realize
I thought it right away. I was like, what? That's so weird.
I didn't even just like I didn't even like think twice about it, which is kind of sad. But maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe because I'm like, sir.
It's so Schmidt.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess. It's Schmidt, so of course he's going to make things up. But even though Cece wasn't involved with the house, I really enjoyed Winston and Cece having their little friendship vibe back because you know Winston was her one of her.
While.
What did they call it? It was like a bridesmaid, but it was like he was a man. I don't really remember, but they had a certain word for it. But. Were you like, did you love this connection, like back, like seeing Cece and Winston be friends again and kind of having their little banter?
I really liked it. I think we haven't seen it at all this season, really at all. And it was kind of fun. It was like a heartwarming, like, oh, they're buds. I forgot.
I know. And they're so fun together and both of their personalities are just, the way that they connect and they say things, I feel like they kind of bring out the normal in each other, or like as normal as Winston can get. Sometimes he can be a little goofy and like, you know, like we talked about last time, how like out of the box he can be.
Underrated character.
He's so he really is. But I just thought it was great for them to really talk about their relationships, and it was funny to see that they were kind of like bored old people, like, what do we do? Like, what are we gonna do with this? And then they just decide that they're gonna like get involved in Jess's relationship, which can only go a certain way. But I will say, I know they keep talking about Allie, but I want Allie to come back.
I know, I do too.
Like, I want to see more of that, and we didn't obviously hear about Reagan, so. I guess we just what do you feel like would be good for Allie and Winston? Like, how could you see that coming back though? Because I feel like we've been apart from her so long, I've almost forgotten like
about her.
Yeah, in a way, and I keep having to hold
them.
on to her. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, Allie's still there, and obviously we talked about him being taken in a relationship, but we need some more of that action. I feel like we need more of that.
No, I agree. I hope she comes back in the next couple episodes.
Yeah.
What do I foresee?
Or maybe we should wait for some prediction and do Schmidt quotes first.
Yes.
Okay. Because I see you saying foresee, so maybe we should save that for some predictions. So let's just say our favorite Schmidt quotes of the episode. What was yours?
My favorite Schmidt quote of this episode was... so this is when he was in the house with Mr. Jason and Nick. What do you say, you dirty slut? I was like literally dying. I was like, oh my God, he did not just go.
Well, it's just like, because Nick was like, dirty, did he say dirty slut? And I was like, oh my gosh. Of course, Schmidt to say things that he doesn't realize. And then when it came out of his mouth, he was kind of like, I don't know how to act like you.
Who says that?
I don't know.
To a grown man, from a grown man.
I feel like that's something that I wouldn't even think that would like come to my head when I would first say something.
Right?
Like dirty slut. I don't know, but leave it to Schmidt. You know, I will say he did keep his cool a lot, and I was realizing the reason he can't be like the people, as Nick was saying, is because he does have his little tantrums. So I thought that was funny to say. But yes, I loved that too. I guess mine would be, he said, I can't remember the word or how it was pronounced, but he said, I'm sitting in an ergonomic chair all day. I'm a freaking gentleman. Loved it.
That was like really good.
Gotta love Schmidt. He is a gentleman. That is for sure.
Is.
That is for sure. And
even when he tries not to be, he still is.
Gotta love them. Gosh, I love that. Like, could you imagine just being friends with all of them?
I wish.
I wish they were real people and we can just be like, hey, let's go get some like wine or something. Let's go out, guys.
Some hallucinogenic wine.
Yeah. Seriously though, I was kind of like, I wonder what this is made out of.
So sketchy.
I was like, this is in a Coke bottle. Like, what is this? What is really in this? Well, I guess that just brings us to some predictions for today.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, Tessa, you had some on your mind. What are your predictions?
Okay, Winston and Allie. I hate to say this, but I almost see them breaking up.
Do you think that if they break up, they would bring her back to break her up, or just like have Winston on a phone being like, meh?
I think they'll bring her back and it'll end.
Yeah.
Because I think the long distance thing is taking a toll on them in the sense that she's not really anything he mentions.
Yeah, it is true. So
I don't know. What do you think?
I really hope that they bring her back and they're still like, I feel like I hope
like
they're the
them.
next
I don't
wedding.
want this to happen.
Yeah, but you
this
foresee it happening for sure. Any more predictions?
I think we'll get a Reagan update.
Yeah, we need an update. He did not bring her up once this episode.
No,
but hey, we can't take we can only take that. I don't know what I'm trying to say, what word it is I'm trying to say. But I'm just saying that at least we got the house that got brought back.
We got the house.
And we got
Thank
Robbie.
you.
Yes.
We got Robbie.
Yes. So we're closing some circles. We're understanding some stuff. Yeah, okay. So we'll get some Reagan updates, maybe some Allie and Winston action. Love it. I think my predictions would have to be, I think that Robbie and Jess are going to go like full force. And I think we're, as an audience, going to eventually like start to really love them as a couple, as a duo. And then we're all going to be heartbroken. But I feel like it's going to be Robbie that would break up with Jess.
I agree. I completely agree.
And it's going to be like to where Jess is finally fully for Robbie and she doesn't get it. So
because I think Robbie's finally going to put his foot down.
Yeah. And they need to see more of his life. I'm intrigued to see more of Robbie's life.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, I was like, you've got a house, man. Like, all right.
Oh, and he
go
casually
you.
saved Elon Musk's life.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you were in a documentary. So, all right, cool. So, we clearly have way more to learn about Robbie. So, yes. But I feel like
I want to learn so much more about him.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, like, even though, like, he's going to break up with her eventually, I see this, like, kind of trekking along for a while. But that's why we're going to get so enthralled into the relationship. And we're going to be really sad when it ends. And then as for everything else, I don't even know if I have any other predictions because a lot of the things that we wanted to happen, we saw this episode.
I know.
So the only
that never
other
happens.
No, and the only other things I would say is exactly what you said. Is about like hearing about Reagan and hearing about Allie. So. Yeah, I guess that's what we can get excited about for the coming weeks. Well, I guess that brings us to a close of our recap today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, comment, make sure you add AfterBuzz. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Make sure you follow, make sure you comment. You can find me on Twitter at Nasta and on Instagram at AllieGirl. And Tessa, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Saval.
Alrighty, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.